Welcome to Spotlight on Missions. Part of your 13th Sabbath offering is going to help build a dormitory for Adventist young people in the Mongolia mission field. Mongolia is located between Russia and China. About the size of Alaska, its total population is only 2.5 million, half of which live in the capital city of Ulaan Baatar. These statues at the Capitol building remind us of Mongolia's rich history during the period of Genghis Khan and the legendary fearless Mongolian warriors. Ulaan Baatar is a combination of busy streets, storefront shops, open markets, high-rise buildings, apartment buildings, and homes that share their yards with gurs, which are traditional tent-like structures made of a wooden frame and covered by felt. These gurs are what you would normally expect to find out in the Mongolia countryside, among the grazing herds of goats or the camel herders. But they are also found in the city. Ulaan Baatar is also the home of the headquarters for the Adventist Mongolia Mission Field Office, as well as the recipient of a previous 13th Sabbath offering that helped to build their central church. When students and other young people come from the countryside to go to the various colleges or universities, or to work in Ulaan Baatar, one of the major problems they face when they arrive is the lack of housing. In order to maintain a nurturing environment for our young Adventist Christians who come to live in the capital city, the need for a dormitory to house them in has become extremely vital.
As what happens in many parts of the world, young people move from the countryside to the city in search of educational opportunities and job opportunities as well. However, when they come to Ulaan Baatar, the capital, the cost of housing can be up to 10 times more expensive than what it is in their hometowns. And so many of the students, they have to rely on relatives who may or may not be able to house them in the long term. They might have to rely on friends that they have just met at their university, and in the worst cases, sometimes they in fact have nowhere to live. In that sort of environment where you have no stability and no security in your housing and basic needs, this of course makes it very difficult for the young people to be able to concentrate on their studies. And of course it can also affect their spiritual lives as well.
70% of our church members are young people. Many of them coming from countryside to get education in this city face many challenges. One of the challenges would be finding a place to stay. And when they find places to stay with their relatives or some other places, they confront many bad influences, and some of them leave church. And by providing a place for them to stay, I think we will bring the young people together and be able to train them to become good church members, and also at the same time train them to be lay Bible workers for the church.
Spreading the gospel and practicing Christianity in a largely non-Christian world is challenging, but the young people of Mongolia are open to understanding the message of Jesus.
Up until a few years ago, Mongolia was under communism, and before that it was Buddhism and shamanism. Since the fall of communism, many people are disillusioned, and especially young people. And in many respects they have seen that communism hasn't really been the answer to their life issues and things like that, and also the same with the Buddhism and shamanism as well. And so the young people especially have been very open to Christianity and the gospel. They find a hope and a purpose that was missing from what they knew before.
Living with 5 people here, my brothers and sisters, I live comfortably. But the dormitory would be a place to live with other Christians and share experiences, and it would also be a good place to study.
Since our church members are very young, they have not been brought up by a Christian influence. their parents or their lifestyle never had any Christian influence. So for them to have a place to get together and experience some Christian lifestyle is very important. And I think and I believe that this dormitory will help our young people to experience a Christian lifestyle and to practice Christian lifestyle.
Pastor Munam and his wife lead the Amazing Grace Church in the Gur district. Before they were married and raising their child in this apartment, the pastor's wife had a difficult time finding a place to live.
I came from the countryside to study here in the capital city. I had a very hard time to find a place to live. When I did find a place to live with my girlfriend, it was a summer house built for summer only. So when the cold came, it was too cold, and we had to put our coats and gloves on to study in the house. At the time, I thought, if I could live in a warm dormitory with other Christian fellows, I could have a good relationship with God. I could serve my God at the same time. I could study well.
The big advantage of having a dormitory here for those students to live in is not only that they would have friends, Christian friends, but that they'd be able to have worships together. They'd be able to grow spiritually. And without some sort of spiritual input, like they've got back in their own hometowns, where they have small groups and they study the Bible together, here they just disappear. And they don't have that day by day, that week by week contact with the scriptures.
In a region that has only in recent years opened its doors to Christianity, this dormitory project for our young people will lay a foundation that will help to grow the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Mongolia.
Now that I'm missionary in Mongolia, I see firsthand the good things that this offering does. And we are looking forward to the 13th Sabbath offering coming to Mongolia to help out with the dormitory project, which will really be a great benefit for housing our young people, but more importantly, for their growth and for nurture and for their mission preparedness and mission doing here in Mongolia and future leadership. So I thank you for your interest in Mongolia.
Also, I would want to thank our worldwide family, of Seventh-day Adventists, for helping us in launching many different projects. We have been helped in many different ways previously, and also I would want to thank in advance for all the help that you're extending also in launching this project of having our young members to get together and experience a Christian life in the fullest.
Thank you for your generosity.